This is part of our Rethink Network Management series. Today, we're going to show you how you can rethink provisioning network devices. We're going to walk you through a scenario where we start with a ticketing system. In our example, it'll be Micro Focus SMAX. Then, of course, the device gets installed. Then we're going to do an orchestration from the ticketing system to network operations management to automate that process of actually provisioning the device. Then we're going to go through a compliance check, which is what's going to help us do that provisioning. And then we're going to run some automation to execute the provisioning, and then we'll start monitoring and verify that it all works. Let's start with an executive dashboard showing the state of the various bank branches. As you can see, we've got Edinburgh, Cambridge, and Oxford. Here we can see the various key performance indicators important to CIOs or operations leaders, including the number of nodes. As we can see, Cambridge has 3. Now, executive dashboards can be built for any role in the organization. They provide real-time view of what's current, and that reduces the need for continual status updates to others in the organization. Anyone who's authorized can see the status that they need to. And they can bring in almost any kind of data, IT data, business data such as customer transactions, video feeds, even weather. We're going to add a new network device to the Cambridge site. We're going to start that by opening a ticket. So here you can see we're opening a ticket to put a new device into Cambridge. We've given it the IP address. This is going to be forwarded to somebody who's going to go out and install the equipment, and then they're going to update the ticket saying, I've completed the installation. Once that happens, an automation or orchestrated routine between your ticketing system, in our case SMAX, and network operations management will occur that will cause network operations management to start the configuration for that router. So you can see here, we have not run the automation yet for the configuration, and the location is not set. So let's go up here to View and Device Tasks. And we can see these are the tasks that ran. So you can see that at the bottom, the device was discovered. The auto remediation script to configure the device was kicked off, and then it gathered some other information. So we're going to go through this policy activity screen to look at actually what happened. So you can see here that what it found was that there was no text matching the pattern Cambridge router, which was expected for that configuration. And then it also found some other stuff, but let's just focus on that for a moment. So let's go back to some of the automation tasks, and we can now deploy a change plan, as you can see here. And a change plan is any kind of change that you want to do. It can be making a change to match a policy, which might be a compliance policy, or it could be something as simple as, hey, I want to change passwords on a bunch of routers. So you can see that this task is in the requested state. And that happened from when the orchestration kicked off this task with network operations management from your ticketing system. It's waiting for approval, so we are going to approve it. As you can see, it's running, and it has succeeded. Now, you could make this fix manually, but let's think about what that means. Somebody has to log in to the router or device. They have to type in multiple commands, most likely. None of that will be captured. And what I mean by that is the user who did it is not going to be captured. What happens if you need to do a rollback? That's even more commands that have to be typed in. By using automation, 1, you won't be doing typos. 2, it's a lot faster. And 3, everything you need for an audit is captured. Who did it, when it was done, what it was done to, etc. So let's go back to the Cambridge Router homepage.
And we can see the additional tasks that were run. So we automatically, after we deployed the change plan, took a snapshot and ran diagnostics. Another thing that would need to be done manually if you were doing this by hand versus using automation. So let's go back to device home. And I'm just going to give you the simple example, but you can see that the location is now set to Cambridge. Now, we've been looking at everything from the perspective of configuration. By doing all this configuration, you're also preparing, NOM is preparing this to be monitored. So let's go look at this from a monitoring perspective. So here we're in a monitoring user interface. For NOM, we can see that the status is normal. That's good news. But we can also allow authorized users to see the configuration data. So if I come over here, we can look at the node compliance policy. Here we can see when it was last set. Then we can look at the history of the configuration. And if we want, we can look at the actual node configuration of the specific device. And this is very important because what it means is that you can enable your operators to take on more of the troubleshooting capability and provide clues to the network engineers, who are, of course, your higher paid folks. So this is a real boost to productivity. So now we go back to our business value dashboard or executive dashboard, and we can see now that we have 4 devices because we've just installed it and configure it. So thanks to NOM, we were able to have do this process with a high degree of operational efficiency because it was all automated. We brought this new gear under management. And, while this example was to bring a new device online, you could also use this. Let's say that you're a bank, as in this example. There might be a new compliance requirement for PCI, and you could implement that as well with these changes. And this ultimately, the real benefit to you is your staff gets time back, they can work on more important projects, and their mundane work is eliminated, so they're happier. Thanks for your time, and look for more in our Rethink Network Management series.